Clay Perisher was only 20 months old, still in diapers, still learning words. His uncle remembers him giggling, running around their vacation house playing hide and seek. The day before the flood, Clay wanted to swing over the river like his 4-year-old sister, but he was too little. The next day when the flood hit, everyone else in that house survived. Clay didn't.
According to an uncle, the little boy, Clay Perisher, was killed when the river broke its banks.
And that's all the river left behind. Memories of a boy who never got to grow up.
Both my parents are deceased, and I said, Mom, Dad, God, help.
That night of July 3rd felt like any other summer night in Texas Hill Country. Families were asleep. Campers at Mystic were gearing up for fireworks the next day. Nobody knew that in just a few hours, their world would turn upside down. At 2 a.m. on July 4th, the skies opened up. Not just rain, torrents. Within 3 hours, 6.5 inches of rain dumped over the region. The ground couldn't drink it fast enough. The Guadalupe River, known for its peaceful bends, suddenly became a monster. At Hunt, where its two branches meet, the river rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes. The gauge gave up after hitting 29 feet, but the river didn't stop. It roared up to 37.5 feet, smashing every record. Downstream towns like Kerrville and Comfort watched helplessly as the water surged. 21 feet in Kerrville, 29.86 in Comfort. By dawn, Kerrville declared a disaster. Some places got hammered with 20 inches. This wasn't just a flood, this was an invasion. But the water wasn't done. July 5th brought more flash flood emergencies. Lake Travis, north of Austin, became a death trap. In Comal County, law enforcement sent out desperate alerts. The Guadalupe is rising, fast. San Angelo saw 15 inches of rain. The Concho River couldn't take it. Wastewater systems failed. Over 1.6 million gallons of sewage spilled into the river. Over 12,000 structures were damaged. Homes, businesses, schools gone underwater. And in the chaos, people were trapped. Trees, rooftops, stranded cars. People clung to anything that could keep them above the raging water. More than 200 people were rescued on July 4th alone. But as night fell, many were still out there. The U.S. Coast Guard scrambled helicopters. Rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin became a name etched in history that night. Arriving after 1 p.m., he coordinated the evacuation of 165 people. With communication lines down, he made every second count. People were airlifted from trees, plucked off rooftops. It was a race against a river that refused to calm down. By July 8th, more than 440 people had been rescued, but the river was still swallowing lives. Help poured in, from 12 U.S. states and even from across the border in Mexico. California sent its urban search and rescue teams. Louisiana deployed swift water rescuers. Arkansas National Guard flew in with helicopters at dawn on July 8th. Colorado Task Force 1 arrived with 48 members and 4 search dogs. NASA sent aircraft to scan the flooded zones. North Dakota even sent a MQ-9 Reaper drone to hunt for survivors in places unreachable by foot. But no rescue was easy. On July 7th, a private drone crashed into a rescue helicopter in Kerrville, forcing an emergency landing. That drone grounded critical equipment in a life-or-death moment. Officials begged, "Stay away, let the rescuers work." Meanwhile, the death toll kept climbing. The first numbers came in, 24 dead, 25 missing. Then it grew. By July 5th, 50 lives lost. July 6th, 81 dead. Then came July 7th. The number rose to 104. By July 9th, it reached 120. It wasn't stopping. Entire families were missing. By July 19th, 136 people were confirmed dead. Most of them were from Kerr County, but the heartbreak was worst at Camp Mystic. It was supposed to be a summer of memories for 750 young girls. Instead, it became the epicenter of tragedy. On July 4th, 27 campers and counselors were declared missing. The river tore through the camp with no mercy. By July 7th, the number missing dropped to 10, but the wounds were already deep.
Okay, my house is flooding. Anybody out there? I have my dad on hospice and I need to get him out of here. He's bedridden, he can't walk, he can hardly move, and look where the water is.
Dick Eastland, who had run Camp Mystic since 1974, was among those confirmed dead. The loss rippled through the community. This wasn't just a flood. This was a blow to the heart of Texas. Other areas hit hard were HTR TX Hill Country Campground, Blue Oak RV Park in Kerrville, and Casa Bonita near Hunt. Homes were swept away as if they were paper. But as the floodwaters rose, so did questions. Why weren't there more warnings? Why did Kerr County lack a siren system? Why were people caught off guard? As days passed, the numbers shifted. Missing persons lists went from 161 down to 101 by July 14th. Some were found alive. Others weren't. There were also false reports, chaos in documentation when everything was moving too fast. By July 19th, only 7 people were still listed as missing. But in reality, the scars left behind wouldn't fade. The lessons are bitter. Emergency systems need fixing. Infrastructure needs reinforcement. But amid the devastation, the human spirit stood tall. And now as the recovery begins, every sandbag, every rebuilt home, every family reunited, that's Texas pushing back. This story can't be another headline that fades away. Because what happened in Kerr County could happen anywhere. Floods don't wait for bureaucracy. Rivers don't care about politics. If this moved you, don't just watch, share it. Demand better alerts if you live in flood zones. Was Texas failed, or was this disaster unstoppable? Comment below. Want us to explore flood conspiracy theories? Let us know. Like, subscribe, and share for the families who no longer can.